second. Oh, good evening. I just shook the whole thing. It's like an earthquake yoga. I gave a couple people who have not done the Zoom classes the information to come on tonight. So I talk, relatively loud, but it doesn't change how it kind of comes through your phone or your computer. So if you can't hear me, you might need to put it on like a audio device. They used to call them stereos in the old day, unless you got earbuds in. I've never done yoga with earbuds in, so I have no idea what that's like. But today, for the first time, I tried doing yoga with socks on because I was at the park, it was cold, and I did the class with everyone. Yoga in socks does not go. That was a bad scene. I'm going to mute everyone, and there we go. So yeah, from a seated position, I'm going to start up front today because we're going to do a bunch of hand yoga stuff before we get into the full sequence, because humanity's hands are taking a beating with all these devices and stuff. So we're going to bring the hands all the way together with the palms touching, and then we're going to circle in the wrists one direction at first. I have automatically engaged my core, so let's engage the core a little bit and then start the breathing in the nose. It's hard for me to demo the breathing because I'm talking most of the time, but just drawing the breath into the nose and pushing the breath out of the nose. And we're keeping these circles in the wrists. Good, then let's reverse directions. We continue the breathing, and my core is still a bit engaged. The core engagement is for so much of the practice. So let's kind of keep that nice posture of core engaged, maybe even shoulders a bit back. We're still moving the opposite direction here with the wrist movement. This comes from a Shaolin monk who's stationed in Germany. This movement, part of one of his sequences, but added it to my hand sequence. Good. Secondly, so right hand comes up, the L symbol comes around the wrist, and we turn both, like we're just trying to warm that area up. And that cracked my wrist. This is excellent. A little bit more. Good, and then we're going to do the other side, L on this side, and warming up this wrist here like so. And as always, we're breathing in and out through the nose. Good, so we're going to need to be sleeveless on this one. So I'm going to come up close. There's a spot right about here. And if you're sensitive from being on the computer or the phone too much, or the guitar or the holding of the steering wheel, you got to kind of pull down. You're going to find an indentation. So there's two sets of muscle masses that run here and here. And we want to get in between those. And you'll know it when you get it. Because when you get in there, we're going to dig in there with a little bit of force. And we're going to massage that. This is leading all the way up through what they would say with carpal tunnel, going through into the tendon up into the hands. So we want to massage this area here. And you can dig in, and it's really uncomfortable, and you'll know and I could feel it weirdly in my pinky. And then you can follow that line up the arm. It gets a little less intense there. It's most intense right down here. And then we're going to do the other side of that. So again, we want to find that spot. You see, like the large, as I push the large part of the muscle at the top moves there, and then you have the below, and it's almost like you're pushing that tendon against the bone, because I can feel the bone in there, and I can feel that tendon like a bass string or something. We want to dig in there a little bit. And of course, we're breathing a lot here because this one is a little bit uncomfortable. Good, we're going to release that. And one more with the hand. So we want to try to keep the shoulders level. We're going to reach the right hand forward, and you see my shoulder jumped up. I'm going to jump it down. But I got to bring it up for the screen. And then we're going to pull back. And as you pull back, we don't go crazy. We're not wrestling alligators, but just enough pull back so you can feel that stretch in through the wrist and forearm there. And think about your thumb trying to pull back with just its own strength. We'll take a couple of breaths on this one. Good, so let's go ahead and then switch sides. So we'll pull back there. You want to try to keep the shoulders as level as you can. And then actively with the strength of the thumb, that thumb is trying to pull out and back. We'll take a couple of breaths here. And I'm actually going to do one more after this. It's going to be almost like the opposite of this one. So the last one we've done in a sequence, but in a different way. So we're doing fists straight forward, and then we're going to turn those fists down. I feel that right away on the top of my arm here. And then you can release the fingers, and you can move the fingers too, and including the thumbs, which they're fingers, I guess. Couple of breaths here. Core is engaged. We're breathing in the nose. Just a little more. Very nice. And we're going to stand and do some of our normal warm-up stuff. So I'm going to go back. So once standing, we're going to have the feet about the distance of, say, the hips. Flannel must go. And core is engaged. We're still breathing. We're going to swing the arms forward. So we're working our way up to the shoulders. And then backwards with the arms. And across the front, switching which hand goes on top. Great. And then hands on the hips would swing around one direction here at first. And then please the opposite direction. Excellent. Let's step the right foot directly over the left. And we're going to forward fold, but not all the way. For those of you that are extremely flexible, you'll have to resist folding all the way, because you don't want the hands touching the ground, because we want to be able to move the hands in circular patterns here. So we let the head drop a little bit, the back drop a little bit, but the hands need to be above the ground. And of course, we're still breathing. In the forward folds, it's not really possible to engage the core. And we'll stay in the fold, and we're going to switch the feet. So left is jumping over right, and then pendulum is a different movement for the shoulder, both shoulders even. And then the first time I come up in a yoga class from any forward fold, it's the most important moment to really hold the core tight and then come up. You can get a little loose as the body opens up, but that first one, I always hold that tight. So we're coming top of the mat. I am headless in this section. It's all right. Big toes touching, ankles a little bit apart, and thumbs out. And we're getting into our normal sun salutations. We're going to breathe in, reach up, prayer to the moon. We're going to forward fold on the out breath, bringing the fingers low. You want to attempt to keep the legs straight, so the hands could go on the ground. I'm putting them on the shins to maintain straight legs. We're going to look up, pulling the shoulder blades up and together. We're going to forward fold on the out breath. We're coming back up to the swinging the arms up, prayer to the moon. We're going to bring the moon down through the heart center. We're going to push into the earth and circle all the way back up, breathing into the nose. Breathing out, we are forward folding again, bringing the fingers nice and low. We're going to look up, flatten the back, forward fold on the out breath. Up again to the ceiling, hands in prayer above the head. We bring those hands in prayer down through the heart center and all the way back up on the in-breath. Breathing out, forward folding, again, fingers low. We're going to look up, flatten the back. Forward fold on the out breath. And all the way back up, we're going to start moving more on this one. Down through the heart center. Back up, breathing in through the nose. Breathing out, forward folding, fingers low. We look up, flatten the back, and we're gonna step top of push-up. We're gonna stay there on the first one as we normally do, trying to get the shoulders over the wrist, the middle finger straight forward. We're engaging the core and we're engaging the legs. That just means clenching them or tightening them. And when you're ready, we're gonna lower down or drop down. Up dog, roll forward, third eye, tight legs as the waist hovers. And down dog, pulling up and back. You could pedal the feet out if you like, you don't have to. Pushing one heel towards down as the opposite leg bends. Good, and then walk your way up to the top of the mat, feet back together, fingers low, we look up, shoulder blades together. Forward fold on the out breath. All the way back up, reaching out and up, prayer to the moon again. We're coming back down through the heart center. And we're just going to do one more of these today, all the way back up on the in-breath. Breathing out, forward folding, again, fingers low. We look up, flatten the back. We're stepping again, time to push up, nice and tight. We're going to lower and drop. Up dog, tight legs. And down dog. If you want to move again, you can come up on the toes on the in-breath, down with the heels, or just stay. We're going to take a long hold on this, just breathing in the nose. We are trying to look at the knees, if possible, even the navel. Good. Step or jump, top of the mat, toes together. We look up, flatten the back. Forward fold on the out breath. Let's bring our hands in prayer to the moon. We're going to keep them up there. We're going to pull the core in and up, and we're going to look up. And if you want to arch back, lift your heart to the moon. And then we're going to bring the arms right down at the sides. Excellent. So we're going to do the Surya Namaskara B with the crescent poses tonight. So let the knees fall together, sitting in chair. Great. Up over into the forward fold again, fingers low. We're going to look up, flatten the back. We're stepping again, top of push-ups. We lower, drop. Up dog and down dog. You're welcome to do warrior one, but I'm doing crescent tonight. We're going to step that right foot to the top of the mat. We stay on the ball of the left foot. And then the arms are coming up. If you want, you can lightly bounce. We're breathing. Very nice. Hands back down. We're going to step back. You can lower or just drop. Up dog or cobra. And down dog. Left foot stepping for crescent. We're staying on the ball of the right. And again, the arms are up. And then if you want to lightly bounce. My right side really needs crescent pose today. And we're going to stay here breathing. Very nice. Hands back down, stepping back, top of push-up. We lower, drop. Up dog and down dog. And we'll stay here in down dog. Of course, please remember you're welcome to rest anytime you want. Great. Walk or jump, top of the mat. We look up. Forward fold. Feet and knees together, sitting in chair. And standing, shoulders back, tight core. We're going to do another one with crescent, so we sit in chair again. Utkatasana. Up, over, forward folding, fingers low. We look up. We're stepping, top of push-up. We lower, drop. Up dog. And down dog. Right foot, crescent. We're coming back up. And you could bounce on the second one again if you like. We're going to breathe here. You don't have to. You can hold it still either way. Let's stay in crescent right where we are here. Left arm forward, right arm back, both palms facing out to the right side, just for a moment. Excellent. Hands back, top of the mat, step in again. We lower drop, up dog, down dog, and that left side stepping into crescent. And again, of course, you're welcome to bounce. I'm going to stay still on this one. Take a few breaths here before we do the twist part of it. Good. Right arm forward, left back, palms facing out to the left. And it doesn't matter much. You could look forward or you could look back, which will test your balance a little bit. Very nice. Hands back down, stepping back again. We lower drop, up dog, and down dog. And we're going to stay here. All right, step or jump, top of the mat, toes together. We look up and we forward fold. Feet and knees, Utkatasana, the chair, and standing shoulders back. We're going to do this last one here with Warrior Two and a couple of variations. We sit in chair again. Great. Up, over, forward folding, fingers low. We look up. We're stepping again, top of push-up. We lower drop. Up dog and down dog. Warrior Two with the right foot stepping. Knee over the ankle. Wrists over the ankles. Core engaged, dropping the shoulders. Looking at the right hand. It's the one in the front. We're going to turn that right hand so the palm faces the ceiling. The left hand's going to barely touch the back leg as we arch back, looking up along the elbow. We are attempting to keep the knee over the ankle. The core is still engaged. We're breathing and looking at the ceiling. All right, hands down again, stepping back. We lower drop through chaturanga, up dog, down dog, left foot, warrior number two. Up again. We're going to breathe here. As we take a few breaths here, it's interesting with this foot in the back to try to root the outside edge of that foot, and you'll feel how much that stretches the underside of that leg connected to that foot. We'll take a couple more breaths here. We're going to turn that left hand to face the ceiling, and then we're arching back again. We'll take a few breaths like this. Excellent. Hands back down, stepping back. Top of push up. We lower drop, up dog, and down dog. And we're going to stay here breathing. All right, step, jump, top of the mat, toes together again. We look up and we forward fold. Let's sit in chair with cactus arms. Well, before we twist, look at your knees. We want those knees to be the same as the front of your mat, or basically in the same line. So we're going to have to put them back after we move. So right elbow swings outside of left. Now my left knee has gone back because my left hip has gone back. So I'm going to pull that knee back forward, which will align my spine straight back and forward properly. Hands in prayer, pulling towards the sternum, fingers of the face. You can open the arms if you like, but you want the arm outside of the leg. This is your point of tension and leverage. We keep breathing. We'll go forward fold just to rest for a moment. And we sit in chair again with the cactus arms. We can look at those knees again. They should be straight together there, same as the front of the mat. And we twist left elbow outside. That right knee is going to need to roll back for me because it shoots back, the hip shoots back. Hands in prayer. Big toes the same as the front of the mat. Knees is the same as the front of the mat. We're breathing here. Good, forward fold. Let's take the feet apart the distance of, say, the hips. You can grab elbows or prayer. We're going to hang. You're welcome to bounce. This is a great place to engage the core. Let's touch the ceiling all the way up. Good. We're going to take peace fingers, scissors fingers, and we're going to come all the way down and scoop under the big toes. Yes, I did bend my legs, and my legs will stay a little bit bent. You don't have to. Thumbs touch those fingers on the inside. Head reaches down, elbows out and away from the ears. And all the way back up again to the ceiling. And all the way back down again. Each hand under each foot from the front, toes touching the wrist. Definitely got my legs bent on this one. I'm definitely trying to make them straight as I'm trying to reach the crown of my head down. That is the tension of the pose. That is the stretch. We put the breath on it. Very nice. Please stand. And we're going to take a moment just at the top of the mat. And while we're taking that moment, I'm going to let you know that we're going to pivot through the standing series tonight. So we're not going to do it with the vinyasas. And I'll talk you through it. You don't have to know how to do it already. And it's simple enough. It's a little more traditional. The left leg, including the foot, is going to step back about the distance of one of your legs. That back foot's about 45 degrees. Front foot running straight forward. It's the base of triangle. We're going to reach the arms out, and then we're going to reach out over that right foot, and triangle's right there. Right hand down, left arm up. We're going to take several breaths here. Sometimes it's nice to do palms out and away so you're not tempted to shove onto that leg. Some people get their hand down there really low. This isn't something I would try to do, but if your hand is way, way, way down on the ground, grab your big toe. That way you can lengthen back up across the arms. And we're going to breathe here. Let's come back up. First pivot. Right toes turn to 45 degrees. Left toes turn straight out the back. We reach out over the left foot, and we're doing triangle again. Left hand down, right arm up. We're going to breathe here. We try to do some kind of match of what we did on the other side. Excellent. Back up. We are pivoting again. This left foot turns into 45. Right foot turns straight out the mat. We're going to twist triangles. So we want a shorter stance, a couple inches shorter. Left arm's going to reach forward. And then bring that left hand down to the right shin. The right arm up. You could put the back of the hand outside of that leg to get a little more leverage. You could grip that big toe in the front down into the mat. That'll give you a little more too. I'm going to take a few breaths here. Excellent. Back up. So we're going to pivot. Right toes 45, left toes out. Reach that right arm out the back. And Right hand on the left shin, left arm up, same stuff. You can put the back of the hand outside. If your hand gets on the ground, you want flat feet, legs straight, the hand go right on the inside or jumping to the other side. Or take it easy. We got the hand outside of the shin. Very nice. Back up. We pivot again. Left toes 45, right toes straight out. Re-lengthen the stance. Warrior two. So about the distance of one of your legs again, could be a little wider. Arms out. We're going to take a couple breaths here on warrior two. Breathing with our eyes open, staring at the right hand. From here, we do extended side angles, center of the forearm on the leg near the knee. Left arm up and over. You could stay here. You could put the right hand on the ground right next to the foot, inside or outside if you like. We're going to keep breathing. Great. Back up. We'll have to straighten the right leg so we can pivot. 45 degrees on that back of the foot here. Left foot straight out. We're going to bend the knee in the front. We're bending the leg, the knee doesn't bend. Warrior two for a moment. And when you're ready, extended side angle, forearm on the leg, right arm up and over. You could put the left hand on the ground if you prefer. We're coming straight up into horse. So we reorient the feet so that the feet are splayed slightly, the knees are opening, and we're holding the ceiling. We're going to stay here and breathe. A little more. Very nice. Straighten the legs. We are going to turn the feet now to run straight forward so the outside edges of your feet will match the outside edges of the mat. We're reaching straight up and then straight down. Hands right under the shoulders. Fingertips on the line of the big toes to start. And then if you want to bring the palms down, if they go there without too much fighting, we'll bring the top of the head down. Elbows are back through the legs in that direction. We're going to breathe here. Great. Back up. We're going to reach to the ends of the fingers for a moment, all the way out to the shoulders. And then behind the back, we're going to intertwine those fingers. If your upper back is holding tension, push the palms together. It will restrict how far you can forward fold. Don't worry about it. We're going to get what we get. If you want the palms apart, it's more on the shoulders, no problem. Coming up and over. I'm keeping palms together myself today. Good. Back up all the way to the moon and above with the hands. And then back down. We're going to grab shins, ankles, or big toes with the peace fingers. Try to keep the legs straight. Pull the elbows away from your ears. Top of the head towards down. Forward fold, wide-legged forward fold. Let's stay down low, both hands over to the right for a moment, left shoulder under and through, couple of breaths. And then please over to the other side, right shoulder under and through. Good. Back up. We're going to shorten the stance to between 3 and 3.5 feet. If you're on the taller side, 3.5 feet. Right toes are turning straight forward out the mat. Left toes about 45 degrees. We're doing pyramid. Square the shoulders up to the front of the mat. We'll grab the elbows or reverse prayer behind the back. We're going to look up, breathing in, pull the shoulder blades together. Yes, it will restrict your movement, but keep them there. Come down and forward fold, looking at the foot. So if you brought your face all the way down, your chin would hit your shin. We're going to breathe here. You're welcome to stay in pyramid. It's a great hamstring opening pose, at least for me. Or you could hop to warrior 3. And we'll take a few breaths here. It's always in warrior 3 that I regret being on the carpet. Ardha Chandrasana, if you like, right hand down, left arm up. Switching of the hands, if you want, totally optional, like everything. We're going to drop that foot back down where it was. We're going to pivot again. Right toes 45-ish. Left toes straight out the back. Squaring the shoulders to the back. Grabbing elbows behind the back. We look up. And again, keeping those shoulder blades pulling back and together. We're going to come down and look at the left foot. And we breathe. If you like, warrior 3. If you like, Ardha Chandrasana, a half moon. If you want to switch the hands, go ahead. Great. Let's step on up. Wherever you get comfortable, because we're going to do some balancing. You move around a little bit. We're starting with tree. We're going to stand on the left foot. Grab the right ankle. You could hold it up there. You could lock it out there. You could also put the foot in the front. I think I'm going to do that today. If you put it in the front, you can flex the foot too. Hands to the heart or all the way up. We're going to breathe here. Core is engaged. Our visual lock. I'm staring at the camera on my laptop. Just locking my gaze on something. Dristi. Very nice. Let's do the other side of that. Standing on the right, we'll try to get a copy of whatever we did on the other side. So I'm out in front again with this, with my foot flexing. We're going to breathe. Core is engaged. Your visual lock. Very nice. Let that down. We're going to stand on the left foot. Today, the right knee is coming up and the left hand, so it's coming from the other side, is going to grab that knee. Other hand could stay on the hip. You could reach back. You could look back. You could take the peace fingers and grab the big toe. Stand up straight if you do that. And we got all the options we could possibly want. We're gonna breathe here. Excellent. Right foot down, we'll do the other side. Left is coming up. Right hand's coming from the other side. Right in there. You can stay with the hand on the hip. You can reach back, you can look back. You could extend the leg, whatever you did on the other side. Very nice. Let that down. We're gonna come down to hands and knees. We're gonna do some cat and cow once you get down there. Knees are 2 fists apart, shoulders over the wrist, middle finger straight forward. We drop the belly as we look up in the third eye. Eyes can be closed on this one. We're gonna arch the back on the out breath, looking at the knees or the legs. And just moving and breathing. Good, back to center. We're gonna look over the right shoulder and see the tail. And then over to the left. And then push yourself up to being on your knees. And I'm gonna go sideways so you can see this next part. If you're not super flexible in your back, we'll put the toes up. So if we choose to do one part, that'll give it a better reach. If you're real flexible, down. So we're gonna take the thumbs and put them in the low back and pull those elbows kind of together. We're gonna look up at the ceiling. Now, for some people, this is a lot as we lift the heart up to the ceiling. If you feel like you're okay, and I say, go easy. But if you feel like you're okay, you could put your fingertips on your heels, and that's why I'm up on my toes, because they're not quite as far away. And again, tighten the legs a little bit and lift the heart. Otherwise, I'm gonna do the rest of this with my thumbs in my back, just lifting the heart, looking up. This is camel pose. Good, back down to hands and knees for a little more cat and cow. I always like to do cat and cow on either side of that pose. I never feel good if I don't do that. Good, back to center, look over the right shoulder again. And then please over to the other side. Great, back to center. We're gonna step the right foot to the top of the mat. And you could scooch it up there a little further if you like, and then we're gonna bring the arms up like a big funnel. We'll take a few breaths here. We're gonna do that twist we did not do earlier. We're gonna take the left elbow outside of the right leg. Don't move the knee. Hands in prayer, pull in towards the sternum. We'll turn the fingers to the face. You could stay here with the knee down. You could also roll back on the ball of the left foot, lifting the knee. And we're going to take several breaths like this. Great. Let's switch sides. Right knee back, left foot up to the top there. We'll start with the arms up in a big funnel. And again, you could bring this left foot further up. You'll feel that stretch running up through the quad, up, working its way up into your torso as you bring that foot a little more forward. Very nice. We twist now the other side. So right elbow outside. Don't let the knee get moved. Hands in prayer, pull in towards the sternum. Then if you roll back on the ball of the foot the last time, straighten the back leg, you can do that now also. And we breathe here. Excellent. We're switching the feet again. So left knee back, right foot up to the top. This time we come straight up with the arms. And we're going to take a couple of breaths like this. And again, you could bring this, the foot that's up in the front here further forward to get more length through the quad and up into the torso. And we're coming down on the inside. So your right hand will come right inside next to the, on the inside of the right foot. And you want to keep the knee pulling against the shoulder. If it feels like the shoulder is pushing the knee away, you bring that foot a little further out so you can keep the knee over the shoulder. Both hands down. Maybe you could bring the hands forward, bending the arms, trying to get the forearms down. You definitely want to keep the leg pulling against the ribs and the side here. We're going to breathe. Very nice. Let's switch it. So right knee back, left foot up to the top, and then the arms are straight up again. And as always, you could bring that front foot a little further forward so we get that stretch through here on the right quad up into the, beyond the hip into the torso. Excellent. Again, down on the inside. And for me, I always bring that foot a little bit further out because of the wideness of my shoulders, how that lines up to keep the knee over the ankle. And if you put the forearms down, you're welcome to do that again. And we're breathing all the time in the nose, both directions. This time we're going to step all the way back to the top of push-up. We're making our way to pigeon. Everything tight at the top of push-up. We're going to lower and drop. Up dog or cobra. Down dog. We're going to hold the right foot up. You can bend that leg if you like. It'll just be a moment. And then throw that shin top of the mat. Scoot the left leg back. You can lift the heart. Keep the knee outside the ribs. We come down. Forearms, head down, arms out if you like. We're going to breathe here. Great. Hands back down. We step back to the top of plank again. Everything tight, engaged, locks. We lower and drop. Up dog or cobra. I'm doing cobra on this one. Down dog. We're going to hold that left leg up. Bend that leg. And yes, we're throwing that shin top of the mat. Scoot the right leg back a bit. You lift the heart. And then we're coming on down. We're going to breathe here. That's the push-ups. If you didn't get enough, you're welcome to bang out as many push-ups as you want right here as we step back. We're gonna lower drop, up dog, down dog. And let's sit down. And we're gonna extend the left leg out with the right sole against the left thigh. We're gonna do dynamic Janusirasana tonight. So left hand grabs either the shin, you could wrap a belt around your foot if you can get the toes of the leg straight. Excellent. We're gonna breathe in, reaching up, looking at the reaching hand. We're gonna breathe out and bring that hand down, trying to grab the foot. That shoulder on that same side is coming down like we're flattening our chest to the floor. And again, back up and over and over. Great. Next time you're up, we're going to stay up. We'll take a couple of breaths looking at the reaching hand. Very nice. Let's switch. Right leg out, left sole in. And right on right. Up with the left on the in-breath. Down, including the shoulder. And over and over. And next time you're up, go ahead and stay up. We'll look to the reaching hand. Excellent. Soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana, the cobbler. We're going to pull those feet in really tight. Left hand grabs the small toes, right hand on top. Pull the shoulders back and down, the core in and up. You could butterfly the legs if you like. We're trying to put the back of the head and the back of the shoulders and the shoulder blades against the back wall. And even the low back as we pull that core in, like we're trying to push that low back against the imaginary wall behind us. Or maybe it's not imaginary, maybe it's actually there. Good. We're going to forward fold, trying to bring the low part of the sternum or the low part of where we pretend that the heart is in the center. And we're going to forward fold, trying to put that on the big toes, but keeping the shoulder blades back and together. And again, it's going to make it feel like you can't move that much, but that's okay. Move as much as you can. Push the elbows against the legs. We're going to breathe here. Great. Back up. Let's extend both legs out in front of us. And you could shake them up a little bit if you like. And then we're going to do our usual twist. So we're going to bend the right leg with the right foot flat on the mat. Left toes remain pointing to the moon. Left arm grabs the right leg. Right hand behind you. Pull the shoulder back. You're welcome to bring the elbow outside if you like that extra leverage. We're going to look at the wall and at the line that the eyeballs are at. But most of the twisting is in the torso. The head just gently looks back. Excellent. Let's switch it. Right leg out, left sole in there tight. Right toes stay pointing to the moon. Right arm grabs the left leg. We sit up tall. We look at the wall. If you want the elbow outside, please go ahead. Back to center, both legs bent. Got the heels on the mat, arms under the legs. 1 to 5, we roll back. You could stay here, balancing on the tail. You could let go. Again, those shoulders are locking back. Those shoulders and the upper part of the back here is connected strongly to the hands that we were working earlier. It's all very, that's this whole arm and shoulder and low back or upper back thing, all very connected. Cross the legs, grab the shins, sit up tall. Core is pulling in and up. Shoulders are pulling back and down. We have the resistance of holding the shins here. Great. Number 2, up again. Cross the legs, sit up tall. Up again. 2 of, oh, this is 3, sorry. 3 of 5. Shoulders back, breathing, looking at the feet. I heard a couple of you screaming from your apartments. Excellent. Cross the legs, grab the shins, sit up tall. All right, number 4. Cross the legs, sit up tall. Last one, back up, number 5. All right, let's hug the knees in. We're going to lie back and look at the ceiling for a moment. You can take the forearms and grab the shins and pull them down and bring your nose up towards your knees. Really pull those shins down. It'll lift the lower back a little bit off the ground, especially the back part of the hip bones here might come up a bit, and that'll lengthen the low back. Excellent. Feet down flat, feet on knees, 2 fists apart, longest finger almost touches the heel, but not quite. We're going to lift the hips. As we lift the hips, tuck one shoulder then the other, intertwine the fingers, push the arms on the ground. Those of you that want to do Urdhva Dhanurasana are welcome to, and we're going to take several breaths here tonight. Excellent. Back down. You can skip it. We're going upside down. You could go to your wall and put the legs up the wall and just lay there. Otherwise, we're doing plow first. So we're going to kick the feet up and over the head. Try to keep those legs straight. I'm going to keep the hands on my back because I can push myself a tiny bit more into the pose. But be careful if you do that, they are not pushing on the neck and head. We're going to take several breaths here. Before you come up, if you want to adjust the elbows closer to the distance of the shoulders, it's easier to do that now than when you come up. And then when you're ready, feet up into shoulder stand, heavy shoulders, heavy elbows, looking at the feet, breathing. Let's bend the legs, bring the knees to the ears, and we are rolling down into dead bug. We're going to hold the feet with the knees in the armpits, soles of the feet up. You could stay still, you could rock around. The head is just down on the mat, loose. I'm going to rock tonight. It feels good. Good, knees into the chest and arms out like a T. We take a breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to let the knees fall to the right as we look to the left. I'm putting my right hand, pushing those knees down and together. We're going to take several breaths right here. And all the way back up and over, please, to the other side. Good, back to center, hug the knees into your chest. I'm gonna do a little different. I know we normally do a meditation at the end. I'm gonna do well, I'm gonna roll up. We're gonna do a final rest, and you don't have to do this, but if you wanna roll your mat up, and I'm gonna roll my mat up a little bit tighter, because you like it should be really tightly rolled. This is something a lot of people do with a foam roller, which I do also. The yoga mat is a little bit shorter than the foam roller, so your low back is going to fall off. So I always, when that happens, I'm going to use bent legs, and I'll show you where we're going. So eventually, we're going to lay down and do this, but we're going to want the mat down the middle of our spine so that our shoulders can pull back against the ground with the gravity once we relax. So I'll lay down now so you can see that. And this is again connected to the hands and the upper back thing. So we lower down, and I get the mat so that my head is kind of in the middle. The middle of my head is at the end of the mat, and then I can let the shoulder drop. But I keep the legs bent so that my low back doesn't come down too much. Some people are okay with that, and I'm actually okay with that. But it's kind of nice to have the feet there to hold that in place, and do your best to kind of get that lined up. And we're going to relax, and we're going to think about the body folding open, especially the shoulders coming down and around the mat. And we're going to stay here for a couple minutes, just letting think about letting the heart open up as those shoulders pull back to the ground. We'll let our breath return to normal, and we're going to take a couple of minutes here at least. If you want to stay laying down longer, you don't have to get up. And this is really nice. You can stay here for kind of a long time with this mat supporting the spine. But to get off of it, you kind of got to roll off of it, which I'm going to do now, and then push yourself up. And those of you that want, we're going to finish out here together from our normal seated position. And you can bring the hands to the heart center, rubbing them together, making a bit of fire. fire to warm my apartment. Summer's just around the corner. All right, fire in the sky, arms all the way up. We're going to take a breath into the nose as much as we can get. We're going to breathe in more through the mouth, and even more. Hold the breath, tighten the core, tighten the legs, lift the floor, hold all that. And we let it all go. Ah. You're living your dream, don't miss it. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. And it's at danieloverberger.com. You can find links to my Venmo and PayPal there. And let me stop the recording.